President William Samoei Ruto is in China in what many people has described as a borrowing spree. In fact, others have said that William Ruto is on a begging spree. And if you look at State House communication, they are bragging that William Ruto has secured several deals that involves billions of money. But this trip has not gone down well with certain quarters because they are cautioning that William Ruto is plunging this nation into what I always describe as irredeemable economic blunder. And people are warning that if we are not careful, it will backfire on us. Ndindi Nyoro is warning William Ruto that now instead of traveling from one country to the other, getting more money, we are burdening Kenyans. And I like the fact that he's saying, I offer alternatives. I don't want this kind of negative criticism without a solution. And Ndindi Nyoro is warning that we need to be very careful as a nation. Otherwise, William Ruto is going to mess up this country. Can you take a look?
Kenya, we must be very prudent in the management of our debt. Whether we like it or not, that is a very great threat that we face as an economy. Ukiangalia fedha ambazo tunakopa kama nchi, I believe there is another better way we can manage our public resources bila kuongezea Wakenya hapo beleni madeni kubwa. Na tukisema hayo, tunasema pia tukioffer solutions. And I gave the other day, instead of borrowing money that we are borrowing, for example, and these are things that I used to say even when I was serving in the previous position. If you check in all the Hansards in parliament, I always used to raise these issues. Government assets exist to make money for the government. They do not exist as jewels. Zile assets ambazo serikali iko nazo, zingine hata hakuna fedha iliwekwa hapo. Government stake, for example, in Safaricom is more than or going to 300 billion Kenya shillings. It was more before. If we value an asset like Safaricom very well, the government can easily get the monies that we are borrowing externally by selling just a proportion of Safaricom as an institution. And the government can still continue influencing the decision in Safaricom through the regulators. Na kwa hivyo tuangalie other ways that we can raise resources za nchi. Kwa sababu tukiendelea na mwenendo wa kukopa sana, wale watabeba mzigo ni wale wanakuja hapo beleni. Na pia wale wako watakuwa na threat ya kwamba tukiweka mzigo ambayo italeta shida, ya kwamba hata Kenya haiwezi lipa hiyo kodi. The effects are catastrophic.
Just before William Ruto jetted out of the country to China, the Catholic bishop also warned even before he went that as you prepare to go to China, please consider that getting more loans is going to be more economically injurious to Kenyans, and you should reconsider that trip.
Deni letu na nchi nyinginezo nje ya Kenya, deni what we call the national debt, inasemekana imepita kipimo. So ni kama wewe una deni na huko naendelea kukopa kwa jirani, kwa banki hii na benki ile, unaongeza uzito kwa wale unaoishi nao, na hasa Mkenya anayetozwa ushuru, kwa sababu hayo ni lazima yalipike. Na hili ni onyo ameongeleshwa na watu wengi, na yeye amesema, naamini anasema kwamba I know what I'm doing. The challenge is, mzigo huu utamlemea nani baadaye? Mzigo huu utaleta anayechukua hatamu mwishoni atafanyani na hizi tuite mikopo ambayo imezidi kipimo. So ametahadharishwa mara nyingi, na anajua yeye mwenyewe, naamini anaamini hivyo, kwamba amesikia hilo na ameamua aliloamua. So letu ni kusema tusiwe na kusema hajui. kuambiwa, ameshirikishwa na watu mbalimbali hata nchi za nje. So ni tukae chonjo, tukae tumejipanga na sisi, tusiwe tukazama.
But the other day, John Mbadi was saying that we should not be a nation that just criticizes issues on the basis of just criticizing them without any reason. And he was saying that we need to borrow for our country to progress. And he was saying that we have no otherwise. The only thing that will help us is debts. We need to listen to people like Ndindi Nyoro, because I want us to look at reasons why people are criticizing this borrowing. Is it worth it? As we do this, allow me to request you to subscribe to this channel if you are visiting us for the first time, and click the notification bell. Don't forget to click that bell there. It will allow YouTube to notify you whenever we release a video like this. And please share our videos and like this video. When you like the video, it really helps the video go viral and you support us. Leaders keep on changing goalposts. There was a time when William Ruto himself said that we will not borrow. And there was a time when the opposition used to criticize this borrowing mannerism. And they were saying that they will not allow this government to continue borrowing.
Na sisi kama serikali tutakuwa na pesa ya kuendesha serikali. Hatutakuwa tunatafuta madeni kutoka China na mahali ingine ambayo sasa inatuletea kisirani. Ninyi mnanielewa jameni? Si fanya biashara.
But now that the opposition is in government, and let me talk of just ODM, they are tight-lipped, they are quiet. And we thought that they would air their voice on this. There is a general feeling that they have a fair share of this loot. And that's why they are very quiet. In fact, the person who made that clip is trying to say that Ruto went there and is trying to appease Raila. Then Raila is now sanitizing. Borrowing is clean. Mosho moja. That is what many people are now talking about. That is how Raila sanitized Adani until there was that scandal in the US. So one of the reasons why people are mad is that those people who used to pacify William Ruto, and they used to tell him this is good, today they have seen the light. People like Ndindi Nyoro, JB Muturi, we have Mitika Turi, led by Rigathi Gachagua. They are now saying no, we have seen the light. We were sold, now we are Paul. But those who used to criticize William Ruto, now they are together with William Ruto. And this is the reason why I believe that the more things change, the more they remain the same. Politicians are just politicians. So, ladies and gentlemen, the agreement between ODM and the UDA is something that is not good for our country. We are now sanitizing everything. William Ruto himself had said he won't borrow. He was a deputy president. He knew why he was saying that we should not borrow, because he saw how borrowing almost killed our country. And we thought that maybe he would also help by sealing just the loopholes where money is being siphoned. But someone is reminding me that William Ruto never ever campaigned on a platform of fighting corruption, and therefore we should not blame him. When people elected him, they knew very well this man was not going to fight corruption. In fact, whenever he was confronted by this question about corruption, he used to say that we should not be using corruption to fight our political opponents. He never once committed that he would deal with corruption. Now here we are. So that is another setback for us. People are saying, this guy said he won't borrow. Now he's on a begging spree. The last one. Sometimes I'm told that when you look at developed economies, it's not like they're not corrupt, but the corruption has really been minimized and reduced to almost a zero level. In China, where we are getting this money, I understand that when you are caught with your hands in the cookie jar, when you have a corruption case against you, there is a firing squad. Unauawa. Huku wanatupatia pesa na hata wajali. And they don't care what we do, as long as we have committed that we will pay. Then that is it. But now the problem is Borrowing is not bad, but when we don't get value for that borrowing, then it becomes very burdensome and unacceptable. I was saying that if you go to those developed countries, you will realize that if you go to the hospitals, there are facilities. Doctors are paid well. Barabara ziko sawa, so that you fall sick at night, within 5 minutes umefika hospitalini. There are facilities where they're supposed to be. But ours, you take a lot of money, it goes into people's pockets. And I believe this is now what is happening in the broad-based government. So people are really concerned that we are breeding corruption, breeding and nurturing. Like now, this is going to billions of shillings. And if we are not careful, we are now passing this burden to the next generation. I always have a feeling that the Kenya Kwanza regime does not care. Whoever will come after them will carry that burden, shauri yao. That is what they believe. Sisi tumalize yetu, wale watakuja, watafanya nini? They will carry that burden. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I want to fully agree with Ndindi Nyoro. And I know you will be saying, kwa nini hakusema? He has said, go and check the Hansards. He's been saying that in parliament. And I know that maybe they have fallen out and you may think that is why he's saying it. But it's for our good. We don't care. They disagree. That is not our problem. Our problem is he saying the truth? And I know we've been asking, kwa nini wanajitokeza sahi wanaongea? Yes, we should always call on leaders to be honest and truthful to their cause. Sio kungoja mpaka vitu viharibike ndio unasema, like ile tulikuwa tunaambiwa JB Muturi knew there were some deals that was signed. He refused himself to sign at an airport, but he knew and it went ahead. We need, Mithika Linturi knew very well that there was a lot of corruption and there was some contaminated fertilizer. He didn't speak about it. In fact, I'm sure had he been reappointed, when Ruto was was appointing his cabinet, he wouldn't have spoken. But all the same, they have spoken, and Kenyans need to rise up. You know what Ndindi Nyoro is doing? He has played his part. The rest now lies with who? Kenyans to rise up. And Ndindi Nyoro has just spoiled Ruto's day, because he's revealing that what William Ruto is doing is merely taking money for himself and is crook. Do you support Ndindi Nyoro? I'm not an economist, but do you support Ndindi Nyoro? For those economists who are there, is it good to borrow now? Because I'm really relating this borrowing and the Finance Bill 2024. We borrow to cover up on our heavy budget. What is your take?